In a moment, I'm going to show you a video, the first couple seconds of which are quite upsetting, so I just want to warn you, but first I need to give you a little bit of context. Late last night, I posted a video on TikTok and also on YouTube that is quite long. It's one of the longest videos I've made in a while, but I felt it was a really important story to cover. On December 10th, the ONA, that's the Oregon Nurses Association, put out a letter expressing their grave concern about the way immigrants were being treated in Oregon hospitals, specifically in the legacy system. The violation of HIPAA, EMTALA, and constitutional rights for immigrants who are in Oregon's hospitals, and also the way that hospital administrators and managers are giving extreme deference to ICE and allowing ICE to trample on the rights of those immigrants. Not just the rights of those immigrants, but also on the rights of nurses, also on the rights of other people in the hospital. Please go watch that whole video. I know it's quite long. I just think this is a really important story. And if this is happening in Oregon and our nurses here are sounding the alarm, it's happening in a lot of other places as well. The way Oregon's nurses are telling us that the rights of immigrants are being violated by ICE inside hospitals. We have to talk about this. This has to be talked about. This has to be investigated. We have to shine a light on what's happening. In this very long letter that ONA put out listing all of the ways that immigrants' rights are being violated and concerns that nurses have over the treatment of immigrants inside the hospital, treatment by ICE, I should say. One of the things they discussed is how they are being told by hospital management, and I assume by ICE, that they are not allowed to contact the family members of those patients at all or until after the person is discharged and ICE has taken them out. They've also reported repeated incidents of ICE taking immigrants out of hospitals, AMA, against medical advice. When doctors want to keep them, they are also seeing ICE refusing to allow tests and different procedures to be conducted on immigrants. ICE does not have the authority to dictate what medical treatment an immigrant may receive inside a hospital. They are not a custodian. They don't have the right to do that. The patient still has the right. They have informed consent that is between the patient and their providers. But the Oregon nurses are telling us that that's not what's happening. Not only is ICE taking immigrants out of hospitals and denying them treatment, hospital management is telling nurses to let it happen. And not only that, but ICE is not allowing immigrants inside hospitals to be given access to their attorneys. They are not allowing hospital staff to notify their family. Now, one of the techniques we've seen ICE use repeatedly throughout the year to intentionally deny immigrants their rights is that when they snatch somebody, they very rapidly move them from facility to facility so that their lawyer can't figure out where they are. The computer system can't keep up. The person is basically lost in the system for a period of days or even weeks, and they cannot get access to their legal representation. They are being denied legal representation. And we're also hearing that happen within hospitals where patients are not allowed to notify their attorney until after they've already been moved out of the hospital. They're not being allowed to notify their family who could notify their attorney until after they have been taken out of the hospital and disappeared into the system. All of these are extremely, extremely concerning. Not to mention the fact that immigrants are ending up at the hospital in the first place because of injuries inflicted on them by ICE. These are immigrants being brutalized by ICE agents who are entirely out of control, and they feel empowered to do whatever they want, and they feel that they will face no legal consequences. One of the concerns that Oregon nurses brought up was that there's no documentation. ICE agents are not required at the hospital, at least inside the legacy system, are not required to show their ID. There's not proper documentation about who is there, what is happening, the interactions between the agents and the immigrants, about how the immigrants received their injuries. I'm telling you right now, it's really crucial that we document everything because there needs to be evidence for the post-Trump era when the time of accountability comes. Our immigrants deserve justice for what ICE is doing now. If we cannot stop these human rights violations, these egregious crimes from being committed, then we have to at least document so that these folks can get justice down the road. And ICE and apparently legacy hospital systems are making that difficult for nurses to be able to do, to document, which is an important part of their job. So with all of that context, I want to show you this clip that my friend River sent me.
I have an update on Jose Paniagua, the gentleman who had his legs crushed from an ICE vehicle just a few days ago. His sister-in-law reached out to me and stated that he has been transferred from the Vancouver, Washington ICE facility to an El Paso, Texas ICE facility. She stated that his transfer is likely due to retaliation by ICE and that they are no longer in communication with Jose. The family is very upset because they do not know the extent to which the injuries are on his legs that he sustained, and they also don't know if he's receiving any treatment or getting any medication, and whether or not that treatment and medication has transferred along with him to the El Paso location. If anybody has any info on Jose Paniagua, please inbox me so that we can help him find his family. Sister-in-law wanted me to pass along the message to you that he's a roofer, that he has no criminal record, that he is an active member of his church and of his church choir, of which he plays the guitar for. He's a good guy, and he does not deserve this kind of treatment.
So Rivers sent that video to me with the following comment: "This is why the shit that Legacy Hospital Systems is doing is so fucking terrible." Now, I'm not sure what hospital he was at in Vancouver, Washington. Legacy does have Salmon Creek Hospital up there. Do you imagine if you saw video footage like that of your loved one? You don't know where they are. You know that they're injured. You know they've been taken to the hospital, but you don't find out till afterward, or you're not allowed to be given any information. You can't visit your loved one in the hospital. You don't know the extent of their injuries. You don't know their prognosis. And then they are disappeared to an entirely different state. You do not know if they are receiving adequate medical care. And now we are hearing from Oregon's nurses, and again, this cannot be unique to Oregon. We are hearing that immigrants' rights are being violated over and over and over again. They are not getting proper medical care. ICE agents are being given extreme deference, and beyond extreme deference, they're being allowed to violate the law in multiple different ways inside our hospitals. I'm telling y'all, this is a much bigger story, and I'm so grateful that Oregon's nurses have drawn our attention to it. The level of cruelty and inhumanity that is being displayed by this regime is it's mind-boggling, I think, for most Americans. It's unconscionable, and we have to get justice for these folks. And one of the ways that we do that right now, so that not all justice has to happen in the future, one of the ways that we do that right now is that we continue to stand up. We speak out against organizations, corporations that are being pillars of support to the regime, that are bending the knee, that are collaborating with ICE. Can you imagine hospitals are collaborating with ICE to deny immigrants medical care, to violate their HIPAA and constitutional rights? I know that I'm not a journalist, I'm an activist. I hope that there is a journalist who can investigate this on a broader scale, because I'm sure it's happening in far more places than Portland, Oregon.